How's the president doing?
Well, these are tough times, but as everybody knows and as everybody said, but I think, he has a chance to make I hate this expression, hit the restart button to get off to a different kind of a start. I think his session with the Republican caucus the other day was a good a few hours for him, and I think if they can find a few more venues like that where he can be himself and you can see some of the Barack Obama we saw in the campaign, he could help himself. But the problems are huge. The deficit's huge, but even more important than that, the job situation is enormous, and I think that's reflected in the budget they put out yesterday. I mean, his focus is much more on finding jobs and on, putting money into education, money into research and development, including, by the way, medical research, than it is worrying about the deficit right now.
I was talking to Douglas Brinkley, last hour, and do you like him?
Oh, a lot. He's terrific.
What are you going to say when I ask you that, by the way? No, Don, I don't like him.
I don't know him very well. I think he's a fine historian.
Brilliant guy. Anyway, he said what he thinks he needs the president. The president needs to do is get rid of some people, like Janet Napolitano, and a lot of these economic advisors, and say what you just said a minute or so ago, go back to fulfilling the promise of his campaign and the promises he made in his campaign. So,
well, as everybody knows, governing is a whole lot harder than campaigning. And when he came into office, I mean, I don't have to tell you that the economy was in much worse shape than anybody realized, and it was heading down. And they've had to figure out how to govern with the kind of job loss we were seeing in early 2009. Now, thank God that's gotten better, but we still don't see, any kind of turnaround. It's tough, and that's why I think all these people who are saying, why are they spending so much money on jobs? That's exactly what people want. I mean, they want money put into the kind of things that potentially will create jobs. And that does cost money, and so that's going to jack up the deficit. It seems to me a lot of people want it both ways. They want tax cuts and they want a lower deficit. Well, how do you do that? You can't. So he's taking a lot of flack for letting the tax cuts on the people making over $250,000 a year expire, and I don't know that